Okay, so I got this new timing light. I should have bought this a long time ago, like right when I rebuilt the engine, but for some reason I thought that it was a good idea just to listen to the people that say it's better to do it by ear. I mean, as long as you're using this right, it's very helpful to know what your timing is. You shouldn't be tuning your engine on your timing. You should tune it with the fuel and all that. But yeah, so this is like an Amazon timing light, and just to let you know, I am a professional now because it's a professional timing light. So yeah, we got our ground and our positive there. We hooked up to the battery. Now we open the hood to this Truk. So we got this hood open here, and we're going to be looking down here at this harmonic balancer, and you're going to see a little mark there, and that's just because I'm a legend, and when I turn off my engine, it just actually like ends up at the 0 mark on my timing thing. So yeah, and then hopefully that'll be the actual one for the for that grid. There's one grid over there, at least this is on my engine, and then there's I believe there's another grid down there, but I might be wrong. Yeah, there's another one down there, but I'm not sure. It might just be calling for the use of this, but that'd be kind of weird. I'm just gonna look into that. You just have to aim the light at the mark, but we're gonna find out where the piston is right now. Alright, so I got my spark plug out, and you can see that it's burning the right amount of fuel, and the cylinder temperatures are pretty hot. But then if you look at like the outside of the spark plug, like over there, it's got some black on it, which is expected. That's a good sign, as long as my gasket is the problem, because if my gasket's not the problem, then my rings are the problem, and that's a big problem, so I'm not doing that. Yeah, so I'm gonna put a new head gasket in it soon, but right now I'm just trying to see how far off my timing is, and just to show you guys, you know, how much RPMs this thing actually turns, because it does turn pretty high. So as you can see, I'm gently sticking the screwdriver in the hole, and it goes down there. So that is the mark for something else. So I'm gonna go ahead and move it with the screwdriver after I take it out of gear, and then get it on the right mark. Okay, so now as you can see, my screwdriver is stopping right there, and that means that my piston is right there. So you're gonna see the mark. If sometimes your harmonic balancer slips and it moves, but in my case mine doesn't do that because I don't have a smog pump, so it's not that much load on it. But yeah, it'll be there on the little dial thingy, and then that's how you set your distributor timing if you're like a pro and you know how to look at the distributor, but I don't know all that, so I'm just gonna put a little mark on the over here. There's another mark, and you can see there's another grid too. Here, I'll point out the mark. It's right there. I'm gonna go ahead and put a mark of some kind on there. Alright, so they give you this little piece of paper here, and it doesn't really explain much, so I just put some marks on the thing because I know it's that side. Because how are you supposed to put your timing light over there, which you can't, I'm just saying. So yeah, this side on my engine, and I put a mark down there. I don't know if that's supposed to help, but I just did it anyway, because like whether or not the mark does do anything, it's still gonna be there, and I'll know that it's there. So yeah, but I don't know how the timing light works, like whether it's a cavity that it senses or whether it's a color that it senses. But I put some silver freaking Sharpie on it, and yeah. So now I'm gonna go ahead and hook it up. Alright, I hooked it up to the battery and to the #1 spark plug cable, and I don't know what that thing is, but I'm just gonna let it hang there, chill out. So yeah, we got this, a lot of buttons here. I don't know, we got, I guess this is your RPM and your degrees. This is your, I don't know what that is, like cam angle or something, maybe that's 2-stroke mode, and then your voltage. There is a 2-stroke mode on here somewhere. I don't know which button it is, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and see what this does, and not get this wire tangled in the fan. 700, 800 RPMs. I got the electric choke on right now, so I'm gonna go ahead. That's 600. This thing's flashing. I don't know what I'm looking at. I honestly cannot see. Oh, that's because I turned it off. Okay, so that clip definitely does something. So you can laugh at me if you want, but basically the way that this works is that you type in your timing. Obviously that ain't right. So like, say you want like 14 degrees of timing, right? And the factory, my wire can't reach, but it says 10. So basically your marker is you're gonna see the mark that you put there whenever the light glows it up at that time. So basically it's just adjusting the time that the light flashes, which you can laugh at me all you want if you know actually how that works, but I'm just saying that for those of you who don't know, you're not actually pointing this thing at it and it's telling you the timing of the engine. It's just flashing the light, and then you use your grid on the actual thing to mark where 0 is on your engine block, which there should be a grid there, which there is on mine, and then you get that mark to 0 with the timing light, and then if that's like way off, if that's at like 30 degrees of timing, then obviously your mark needs to be adjusted. Which, what's funny is that my mark is actually at about 15 degrees of timing right now, and that's with the vacuum advance on, so something's not right. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the vacuum advance off and see how it is. Oh, and it took me like 30 minutes to figure out where that clip goes, but it goes to the ignition coil. I just gave up and looked it up. But yeah, it took me about, since 3 o'clock, and it's now like 5, to figure out that that's how a timing light works. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark. Now I gotta erase this mark since I'm moving to the other side, but I'm gonna mark this side because I can actually see the numbers, and that side only goes down to 3 degrees. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's my line right there. I don't know what I just did, but that would be 13 degrees, and you can see it right there. I can't point, sorry, but it's about middle of the screen right now, that line. Ignore all the flashing. No matter where you aim the light, that little line is going to show up. And then my indicator dial thing is like out of sight up there. It's like that orange thing that's in the middle of the screen right now. It's right under that pulley, that top pulley. So the line isn't even close to it. So that's fine because my vacuum advance is on right now. So I'm going to go ahead and try not to explode right now. I don't want it to backfire. She's smoking real good now. Yeah, get that plugged up. Now I'm going to go ahead and aim the timing light here again. Not get it stuck in the ceiling fan, or and I'm gonna go ahead and have to say that that's on the grid, but I forgot to mark the actual numbers, so I don't know what that says. Yeah, but you can see it's on the grid now. You can see the grid in the light. It's right there. It's like got teeth on it. And the line is on there now. so that's good. And yeah, so the timing job that I did isn't bad, but we're gonna go ahead and put it up to 15 degrees. And you can see it's right there. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it and see what the timing is there. Okay, so that's plus 2 degrees. So right now we're at 16 degrees, and if that's correct, I'm gonna put a piece of, or a black mark right on the 0 degree, and then if it lines up with that, then that means that we're on the timing that this says. So alright, so you can see I put that black mark on there. I can't really put my finger down there, but it's gonna be good because I already read it and it was pretty much on point. Like, you would think I would have had it like on some bad timing marks or bad timing, but it was pretty good. So yeah, and now I'm gonna just make it perfect. Alright boys, so you can see the black mark and that mark. We're a little bit advanced. I don't want to go above 16 degrees because 10 is factory, and what's going to end up happening is I'll probably do something to the engine that's not good. So the distributor rotates that way, so I'm going to want to move it towards me. So I'm just going to move it like a tap. Alright. And now I'm going to go back down here. Perfect. It's a little bit after 16 degrees, but every other time it kind of fires a little bit early. So yeah, that's fine. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten it and do it again to make sure that when I tightened it, it didn't move. That's alright. So yeah, and just to let you know, this RPM is on point. It doesn't even have the vacuum advances. Now we're gonna Now we're gonna see how it idles. It's smoking a lot. It's burning a lot of oil. Probably because it's pushing a lot of blow by. Oh my God! So that lit that sucker up. Now we're up to 900 RPM. Go ahead and turn her down a little bit. She is running a little hot. She's probably about to overheat right now. This is about as far out as the idle screw goes because this thing's running hyper because of the carburetor being so big. But yeah, that's a success. Now we're going to go see how much RPM it does. Alright guys, so we got the well guys, it looks like the mystery of how high this engine revs still remains. This thing was only $100 on Amazon. You can go look it up. It's a Innova 5568 timing light, and it says that the tach is accurate up to 9900. I specifically went inside the hood of the truck and revved it up myself, and it maxed out before it stopped revving, so it's basically missing or something. And because obviously if you're able to go 120 plus mile an hour in that truck, then it's obviously going to be revving higher. And yeah, and it doesn't tell me how much it revs, which is kind of bullcrap if you think about it, because that's about where the mechanical advance, the centrifugal advance, kicks in. So how are you supposed to know, you know, where the if your timing light is accurate at that point, if it can't even tell you how many RPMs it's doing? You saw that it revved up one time to the where the valves were floating, and it said 4100, and then the other time it said 5800, so it's not accurate, but I mean, it did get the job done with the timing. It runs way better now, so sorry.